Why do I procrastinate? Why do I put things off when I know I could just do the thing right now? Why do I spend time and energy convincing myself that it doesn't need to happen right now, that I could do it later on? In this video, I want to talk about procrastination. Why I procrastinate? What are some of the things that I observe myself doing? What am I feeling? And so firstly, what is procrastination? It's unnecessarily putting off or postponing a critical task or something that I need to do and not do it, or find some excuse not to do it. I think procrastination is a very common behavior. I think everyone procrastinates. It affects many people. I do wonder though, I don't think it's necessarily a sign of laziness or lack of willpower, because I'm not lazy. I certainly don't want to be associated with laziness or to be known as someone who is lazy. No, I fight back against that. My identity is someone who is not lazy. I'm productive. I do things. I get things done. So I'm not a lazy person. And yet, I do put things off. Today, I've procrastinated big time. I have an assignment due the day after tomorrow, and I put it off. I do think that procrastination is affected by many factors, which might include my personality. Maybe I am predisposed to be putting things off. I also think it's the environment. Although my office is designed to be conducive to get work done, and it works. Maybe it's my life circumstances, where I am in my life, the situations that I'm in. I'm in my early 30s, married for over 10 years, 2 kids, doing a PhD, working full-time, trying to build a house, and I also have other commitments, running a side hustle. But I like doing those things, and I don't think it's necessarily those reasons. But I'd like to understand why I still feel like putting things off. I'm sure you can relate. So there are reasons why we procrastinate, and I just like to talk about some of those in this video. One of the reasons I think is fear, and fear of failure. Afraid of failing for some reason. But the ironic thing about that is, by not doing the thing that I'm supposed to do is a guaranteed failure. And yet I'm too worried that if I attempted, I might fail. No, actually, I have a better chance of succeeding if I gave it a go and did it right now. Or maybe it's the perfectionist in us. This video is never going to be perfect, and I can't be spending time trying to perfect it. It's not going to be. But I do understand that it can hinder people from moving forward, is because they believe it's not good enough for publishing, it's not good enough for others to see. I understand that. Another reason is lack of goals. Maybe we don't know what we're trying to do here. We can't visualize the end game, and so we fumble around, we wander, and we're not clear on what we're supposed to be doing, and so we're able to put it off and replace it with other tasks that are not so critical. I see people getting overwhelmed as well, and I think I fall into this category because I think too much on my plate. I've taken on too many things. I've said yes to stuff, and so from time to time I get overwhelmed and I see this wall of tasks, and I just try to avoid them, and I end up procrastinating. Some people might have low self-esteem or lack of confidence in their abilities. I don't think I have that, because I have a pretty strong mindset on my own abilities. I've done this before. I've succeeded. I believe I am confident in what I can do. But I do appreciate that people are timid, and they do need that boost, their encouragement to take the first step. Another common reason is the difficulty in managing your time. I struggle with this sometimes, and organizing things. When I put things off, that time slot gets pushed forward, and it has this ripple effect, and it affects the other tasks that needed to be done that day. It has this domino effect where it leads to having to work overtime, or for me to work later on in the depths of night, burning the midnight oil to get this thing that needs to be done. Another common one that I would say that many people struggle with is the lack of motivation. And I have a love-hate relationship with the word motivation because I can't deny its existence. I do feel that tangible excitement, and I know I am motivated, that nothing can stop me. I will do this. It will get done. I am driven. And on the other hand, I also think that the environment and the system that you created kind of makes it easier to do the tasks and requires very little motivation. But I do feel that when you're not feeling up to doing something, you won't do it and you'll postpone it at a later stage. This is a big one for me. Distractions. My phone is a major source of distraction. Other things like my hobbies get in the way. For me, I think it's a good thing because if you're monotonous in your work, you need to have that variety. You need to have that color, that break. And so, yes, the disadvantage is that I'm distracted. It takes me away from the task that I need to do. But on the other hand, there's serendipity and other creative outlets that might lead to a serendipitous situation. As I've observed myself, I find that there are patterns why I procrastinate. One of the major ones for me is waiting until the last minute to do the thing or to start doing the thing before the deadline. These are important tasks that I just put off until someone tells me that I need this by today or tomorrow. Case in point, my university assignments. I have a submission to do the day after tomorrow, and I'm just putting it off. I'm putting it off. I know that I will get into a flow a few hours before I have to submit the paper. Someone told me before that pressure creates diamonds, but it can also crush all the other things. And so I get this high from being under pressure, and maybe quality is affected, but at the same time I do feel the sense of flow and deep work when I know that there's a deadline. One of the patterns that I see as well is that I constantly put off tasks that I don't particularly enjoy, so unpleasant tasks, maybe even difficult. But here's the interesting thing. In hindsight, it turned out that the tasks that I was putting off weren't so difficult after all. In fact, it was fairly easy, and yet it was a source of stress and anxiety. But the fact of the matter is they were so doable. For example, I have a series of emails that I need to send out, a series of invoices that needed to be sent out to each client. It's fairly routine. I know the schedule. I just need to send an email with an attached invoice and for the clients to make payment. I mean, that's not too crazy. And yet I put it off. It's like, maybe that's it. Maybe it's too easy. And I convince myself, I can do that all in one go sometime next week. This is where I fail most times. I spend time doing the things that I'm not supposed to be doing, and so in my own definition of productivity, I am not being productive because I spend a lot of time on these not so important activities. It takes me away from the more critical ones. And then as a result of all this, I argue with myself. I convince myself, look, I don't need to start this work right now. I make excuses for it. I can do that later. And then that leads to a feeling of guilt and anxiety because there are pending tasks, unfinished tasks that needed to be completed a couple of days ago. And so what are the ways that we can help ourselves combat this reality of putting things off? What are some of the strategies that we can implement to overcome our procrastination? This really helps me. How do you eat an elephant? By slicing it up into small pieces, right? And eat them one bite at a time. You've heard that saying before. And what that means simply is break the big task into smaller tasks. Small enough that you can manage it. Small enough that you can do them right away, one after the other, rapid fire. Another tip is to use the 2-minute rule, which is if I can just do this in 2 minutes. It'll be done in 2 minutes. It's like quick and painless, like stripping off a band-aid. Send that email, make that phone call, record that video, whatever it is. Do them right away, and it's not even worth logging into your task management app. Another thing that has helped me is to structure my daily routine. And I've benefited from this greatly because it's become a habit now. These are the things that I end up doing throughout the day, and I stick with it. And I love especially ticking the boxes. It gives me a dopamine hit every time I do the habit. And I keep a habit tracker with me, and I love seeing my progress and accumulate the momentum. And part of this daily routine is to do some push-ups, get my 10,000 steps, write in my journal, What I've come to know for myself that works all the time is that I hate missing deadlines. So whatever it is that I've been doing leading up to the deadline, I might be relaxing and putting things off, but I know that I don't want to miss that deadline, and so I apply that high pressure on me to get it done. And it always has. I haven't missed any critical deadlines for work so far. I've always delivered, and the clients are none the wiser. And so setting goals and deadlines really help. But is it worth the high intensity towards the end? It's a balance. I've taken my time at the beginning. Instead of an even, steady flow, it becomes super relaxed at the beginning and then very high stress towards the end. I don't know. Which one are you? Here's an easy tip that I've heard others talk about, is that eliminating distractions is an absolute necessity. So if you have your phone, put it downstairs or somewhere else, turn all the notifications off, or better still, put it on airplane mode for a time. That might be a trigger for you to get going and focus on the task at hand. You've heard the phrase, eat the frog. Just take on the most challenging task and do them right away. Just put it in your mouth and swallow it. Because what can happen then is you can reward yourself for the hard thing that you've accomplished. And so you can reward yourself by having some social media time or whatever it is you want to do. Pick up your phone again, but only after you've done that critical task. What I need to keep repeating to myself as a mantra or my ethos or manifesto is that this is who I am. Associate it back to identity. So you'd have to make some mindset shifts that you're not just doing things for the sake of it. This is who you are. You are productive, you are responsible, you are not lazy. I'm just going to get plugged in and it will get done. And other people will come to see that you are reliable. You always get things done on time. This can be a strong motivator for you to overcome that procrastination. No one else needs to know that you've been kicking the can all this time. All they need to see is the work has been done. And it's been done to a great quality. And so I know we could talk about strategies all day long. It does come back to mindset. And that's why mindset and methods need to work hand in hand, because without one or the other, you will fail. But don't beat yourself up. You can attempt, you can try to be consistent. You can track your progress. And if you miss a day, if you fall down, you can always get up. So don't be too hard on yourself. Pick yourself up and move on. And what you'll find is that you'll tailor a system for yourself that works for you. Everybody's different. Everybody has a unique way of doing things. And so I'm so adverse to having a prescribed method that's the only way. I understand that there are best practices, but at the end of the day, we take the best from all the different systems and principles and we apply them to our lives. And what ends up working well is what we end up doing. I'm publishing this video today, have been procrastinating and have been putting this off, scripting it, recording it, editing it, but I'm gonna publish today. It's gonna get done. So let me know in the comments what works for you. Tell me your procrastination stories and tell me how you got out of the place of being stuck. I hope this video has been somewhat entertaining or helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next one.